My name's Robin and welcome inside Robin's World. I am going to do a February wrap-up, and I've never actually done one of these wrap-ups, I don't think, so it's going to be new for me. I took notes so I would seem like I was prepared. The first book I read this month was, well, first of all, I did the Booktube, what do they call that? The Booktube games. And I was Team Dairy, so I wanted to read some Stephen King books. The first one I decided to read was On Writing, a Memoir of the Craft. It was 288 pages, published in 2000 by Scribner. And it actually won the Bram Stoker Award for Best Nonfiction in 2000. And favorite quote: if you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. There's no way around these two things that I'm aware of, no shortcut. And the review, it was a fun reread. He takes 288 pages basically to tell you that you just need to do it. Practice, practice, practice. But it was fun to hear his thoughts on it. The next book I read was The Crown of Midnight, and I have that one here. No, I don't. So I'll put a picture of it up. It was 418 pages. I did rate this one a 4-star. It was really good too. It's in the series of Throne of Glass, and it's the second book. So it's got Selena and Kayal and Prince Dorian. It won the Goodreads Choice Award nominee for Young Adult Fantasy and Science Fiction in 2013. My review of this one is Selena is apparently doing her job for the king that she's supposed to do. She's moved on from Dorian. She's decided Kayal is her man. But really the love story is more of a side story in this. The main storyline is her and her job, her past, and I can't say too much about the book without giving things away because it's all interwoven, of course. I'm excited to get to the next book because I want to find out what happens. I heard about Coyote Songs from Scott at Book Invasion, and it really didn't seem like my kind of thing. I'm just really having trouble right now with all the political books and stuff like that. I'm trying to get away from that just for my own sanity. But I saw him do a review, and I had to have it. So I bought it. Oh, it's written by Gabino Iglesias. This is what it looks like. One of the things that drew me to it is I converted to Catholicism probably 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And I'm not a very good Catholic, I'll be honest, but the church I joined was Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is her without all the blood and everything dripping down the picture. So I think that's part of the reason it drew me to this. I gave this 5-star just right off the bat. This was definitely a 5-star read. It was published October 26th, 2018 by Broken River Books. And it has a 4.68 total star rating on Goodreads, which is pretty dang good for any book to have that high of a rating. So I don't even know how to review this book. I do know that I want to stalk Mr. Iglesias next time I'm in Austin seeing the grandbabies to get him to autograph my book. And so this follows different people that are down at the border. All of them really are, wanting to be in the United States or whatever. So it starts off with Pedrito, and he's a young boy and he's fishing with his dad, and things go bad. And then the mother is pregnant, and every night she gives birth to something. I don't know if she's supposed to be schizophrenic or what, but this is definitely the creepiest part of the book. Well, kind of. The coyote feels like the mother, which is probably where we get this, is leading him to save children that he's helping cross the border. Jamie was just released from prison, went home to his mother and the mother's boyfriend, who probably turned him in. And so it's his story on how he's surviving being released from prison. Alma, she had a YouTube video that went viral, and she's really looking for the next great thing, and she wants to do something big. La Bruja is a ghost, and she wasn't always, well, in the story you find out what happened to her and why she's tied to this side of the veil versus going to the other side of the veil. This was a really interesting book. It was so well written. It's considered horror, I think, and it was pretty horrific. So good. I mean, I really want Kelly to read this. I think Kelly would like it. So I'm going to talk him into it. We'll see how that goes. Okay, again, read this book. It's so good. I read The Hidden Oracle, The Trials of Apollo. Okay, so I went to put this in my Goodreads, and I had read this before, apparently. I remembered very, very little of this book from the last time I read it, probably 3 years ago. I can't remember. No, 2 years ago. I think, I don't know, there would be things that Apollo would say and that would like trigger something. But whenever I went to put it in, I'd read it. So liked it much better this time. Apollo is very conceited, and even as he's been put down on Earth by his dad, and now he's just a 15-year-old boy with acne, and his voice cracks, but he's still, Apollo in his head, so he thinks he's really cute and all of that. So this was a lot of fun. It does handle a little bit of gay, lesbian kind of stuff in here that is so well done. Apollo is bisexual in this one, and that's really well done too. So I really like that. So the middle grade people can hopefully see what's normal instead of, being pigeonholed into something. So anyway, this was really good. Let's see, I did some quotes on this one too. Says, at this point you may be wondering how I felt seeing my son with Nico D'Angelo. I'll admit I did not understand Will's attraction to the child of Hades, but if the dark foreboding type is what made Will happy. Or perhaps some of you are wondering how I felt seeing him with a boyfriend rather than a girlfriend. If that's the case, please, we gods are not hung up by such things. And his daily motivational speech was, you are gorgeous and people love you. That's what he tells himself in the mirror. So anyway, great book. I read this one, the book, what is it? The Goodreads Book Award. The third one in this series was the pick. So I'm trying to get through these books so there's just 3. So one more and then I'll be reading that one. Vicious, speaking of trying to get through some books so I can read the award-winning. This one is the first one. The second book was one of the Goodreads book of the year. Can't remember which one it was now though. So Vicious. This is the first in the Villains series. I gave this this one a 5-star rating also. It is 366 pages, and it was published in December 2013 by Tor Books. Characters, Mitchell, Victor, Eli, Sydney, and Serena. And this was a Goodreads Choice nominee fantasy in 2013. The book follows Victor and Eli. They're college roommates who are interested in the supernatural. They both want to be superheroes, and they think they have figured out how to do it, which is near-death experiences. So you can kind of see where that goes, whether that works or not. You'll have to read the book to find out. But this is really good, and I'm excited to get started on the next one, which is Vengeful, which I have behind me. Let's see. Next is The Outsider. This, I read this one because it was the mystery Goodreads award winner. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I did a review on this one. This one's really good. There were some issues, you know, with Oklahoma. He didn't get Oklahoma right, but he knows he didn't get Oklahoma right. Some of us really are rednecks, but I would say the majority of us are not. But I gave this 5-star. 561 pages, definitely not a little book. Holly Gibney comes into this somewhere about halfway, and she was in the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, and I just loved her in this one too. So, oh yeah, mystery and thriller. That I wrote that down. So, the downside to this was there was some pretty graphic description of child rape and murder, and I think less is more when it comes to that thing. So I didn't like that part, but in general, Stephen King delivered again, as Stephen King does. And the last one I read, which I say the last one I read, this was actually probably my first one I read, because with the Booktube games, this was the Dairy Main book, so you got double points if you finished it in the first week. I'm not sure who picked this, but they could have picked a shorter one. I'll be honest, this one was okay for me. I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't know if I wrote that down this time. It was good, but I just didn't love it. I don't know. It was all right. So the Renegades are, this is the blurb for it. The Renegades are a syndicate of prodigies, humans with extraordinary abilities who emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society and established peace and order where chaos reigned. As champions of justice, they remained a symbol of hope and courage to everyone except the villains they once overthrew. Nova has reasons to hate the Renegades, and she's on a mission for vengeance. As she gets closer to her target, she meets Adrian, a renegade boy who believes in justice and in Nova. But Nova's allegiance is to a villain who has power to end them both. So, anyway, people love Marissa Meyer, and it was okay. I just didn't I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I think I probably gave it 4 stars, but I probably should have gave it a 3, just an average for me. So, sorry if you guys loved it. In February, I have started reading, oh, here, I got it right here, The Last Romantics by Tara Conklin. My husband and my daughter went shopping the last time we were down in Texas, and they brought me this book back because they know I like to read. So I'm reading this one. I'm listening to a book one of my husband's friends or colleagues at work told him was really good, so he's listening to it, and I'm listening to it on Audible. It's written by David Goggins, called Can't Hurt Me, and so it's a story of a guy who wanted to be a Navy SEAL and the hard work that he did to get there. I'll show you. Probably do a book, but he looks pretty hardcore. And what else am I going to read this month? Maybe Vengeance or Vengeful. Definitely The Trials of Apollo, The Dark Prophecy, because there's a middle grade book thing going, and so I want to read a middle grade book. And this cover's really pretty. So I don't know what else I'll read. I'm not real good about planning way far in advance, but that's my February wrap up, and that is what I plan on reading the next week or so. Thanks for coming to watch my channel. Have you read any of these? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Did I offend anybody by not loving Renegades? Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you next time.